Hi,
Hello.
everybody. So we finally finished Kingdom of Ash. A lot happened. I feel like we say this a lot, but a lot happened. Like so much that we're not going to be able to talk about all of it in 1 hour. So bear with us. But yeah, we're done with this series, which I thought I would have a harder time with than I actually did. I don't know how you guys felt. Like, were there days where you couldn't go on? Were you at peace with it?
Want a book about them rebuilding. Is that too much to ask for? Like, the fact the epilogue was 2 pages, not a fan.
Yeah.
3 pages.
The epilogue was very short.
If you round up. But no, yeah, I agree. I wish there was a little bit more.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I think probably what happened is that they looked at the manuscript that was going to be this book and they were like, we need to cut some stuff. And that's what happened, in my opinion, which I understand on the one hand, but on the other hand, I keep wondering if this series is actually over. Elena?
Like everything happened so quickly, but so slow at the same time.
Mm,
Okay, but also, this is the last book. Anyone that got to this book is gonna read it no matter how long it is. They could
yes.
have put they could have printed it in 2 editions, and then saran wrap them together if it
Yes.
wouldn't bind into one.
That's a lot of publishing knowledge that you have there, Elena, about how to package things.
Just saying, you could do that.
Yes, I agree. I think that it definitely there could have been more, and I would have just taken a larger book, even if it would have been obnoxiously large. I will still say overall, I loved it. Like I still think that it was executed really well, and I still am hoping that there's going to be more later, maybe.
Agreed.
Weird.
I want more. I want more relationship building.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm
Yeah.
upset about, but we're not going to start there.
That's hilarious that you're upset about that because I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've actually read this. What's the thing? What do I remember? Lord Lorcan Larkin. It's like the only thing.
Yeah. I always
We love it.
a lead's last name Lochan, but now I'm wondering if it's like Loken, so that it sounds more annoying with Lorcan. Like, is it Lord Lorcan Loken? I don't know. It sounds ridiculous either way, but
We
Either
all.
way.
I can't say. Pronunciation has not been my forte this entire series because I still call Kale Kale.
Kale is still
Do you hear that? She still calls Kale Kale.
he's still Kale. Kale Kale. Yeah. Yeah, before we get into all of our favorite and maybe not so favorite relationships, I feel like the only way that we're gonna potentially get even half of the plot of the end of this book in is by talking about like the main the main plot first, because oh my god, a lot happened. Like where we stopped before at the end of the last section, Aelin and Dorian were in the middle of trying to reform the lock, and Aelin had just pushed him out, and then Dorian's father, who we realized is the Nameless, was sacrificing himself to help her form the lock. But a lot happened after that. I was thinking it was going to wrap up really quickly, and it just kept going. I don't know how you guys felt about all of that. Like there was a lot. I don't know if there's like a piece that anyone loved or hated that they wanna dive into. Elena.
Talking about how this book just went on and on, like, oh no, the gods, they betrayed us. Like, they could have done it in like one scene. They did it. The gods killed Erewhon, like they said. I don't, I don't know. I don't love the gods. They feel. Also, it doesn't really make sense. Like, I get why. Is it Malia? How do you say her name?
I think it's Mala, yeah.
Mala. Then, like, helped Aelin, but like Mala was going to live in the world that she helped Aelin destroy. So now she's stuck with a bunch of like demon things in her own world just for revenge. I don't know.
Yeah. If we think they're stuck, I mean, Aelin does like destroy all the portals in that portally room, so I think we can assume that there's a good chance that they are, but they're also gods, so I question like if they're actually stuck in whatever realm she sent them to.
Well, for some reason, they needed Aelin in the first place to let them into. Like, they were just waiting around causing terror because they couldn't get back to wherever they wanted to go on their own, even though apparently it's just like one word mark to create a portal,
Yeah,
but they couldn't figure that out.
yeah, the portals, like the smaller portals within the world, seem to be a different entity than like the larger inner world, interdimension portals that were in that portally room. I'm not really sure.
The portals get confusing.
Jamie, how did you feel about the gods and them not taking Erewhon?
Ugh, I want to say I saw it coming, but I don't know if I really did. The
Yeah.
whole betrayal, because it's like I don't know. There was just something about them that irked me even from the beginning
Mm,
when with like what they did to Elena and eventually like Elena does it to Aelin. I just I remember talking to someone about this and they're like and I put gods in quotation marks because like they don't
God.
feel like gods or our typical ones that we're used to. But yeah, I just don't trust them.
Yeah. I felt like it was kind of pointless. Like we have multiple books that lead up to this whole like you've got to create the lock like to seal Erewhon and the gods are going to take Erewhon and then the gods are like just kidding, we're not taking Erewhon. And I'm like, what was the whole point of you? Like what? It seemed really weird and like anticlimactic in a way, which is
Yeah.
part of why I'm wondering if there's got to be more because I don't know, like what was that all about?
And I feel like it stayed cloudy the entire time. Like there was that whole bit where there was like the truth god that was separate from these other gods, and we never circle back to like who that is and how they're like I feel like there's still a lot of vagueness happening, or I just missed what I was supposed to pick up.
Yeah. Why did they not jump into the fight with the Valgs? Why was it up to
Was not interested, I guess.
why was it up to like the Fays and the humans to deal with? It just it's sus.
Yeah.
Is this where we can pause for some crossover thoughts?
No. No, we forge ahead.
Nice try though.
That was cute. No. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt I liked it. I liked that like Mala helped her out and gave her back some of her power. Obviously we needed that down the line. But yeah, I felt like it was weird and sort of like it didn't tie up well because it doesn't for the rest of the book. Like you don't get the like, oh yeah, the gods got vanquished or like, oh they're coming back or
Hmm.
yeah. The part that I did love about it was that Rowan tattooed all of those word marks into Aylin's new back tattoo so that she could find her way back to him. Because I kept going like,
Oh.
how is this going to work in a non-corny way? And I was like, ooh, it was corny, but in the best way. Like, I love that. I thought it was
And
cute.
did she I can't remember, but did she was she aware that he did that? Oh, so something that he kept from her.
Yeah, I really liked that too. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yes, Rowan, like good job hiding something from her and giving her a taste of her own medicine.
Yeah.
Cute.
I think it was very big of her to try to save Elena.
Yeah.
I don't know if she deserves it.
You know, I still feel like Elena did what she thought was right, right? Like she was trying to save her people and like further generations. And like, yes, she basically made it the future generations problem, but like she didn't have another choice as far as she could see it. And she was just stupid. Like she just didn't think through it entirely. But She did what she could, and I didn't think she deserved, like, eternal damnation for it.
Well, and in the end, wasn't the whole thing with the lock that, like, in the Elena history, that the plan was Brandon was gonna do what Aelin did, where he was gonna send the gods back with Erewhon?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, wasn't that the original plan? So if he had done that, hypothetically, the gods could have done the same thing and refused to take Erewhon back with them, and then they would have had no way to fight Erewhon. So hypothetically, like in an alternate universe, if she hadn't done that, they could have been stuck in the same situation just without Aelin and Squad to take down Erewhon and Maeve.
I didn't squat. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're dealing with gods, right? They get to make their own rules and their own choices. Yeah.
I don't think we like them, right? Maybe certain ones, like Silva and maybe Mala.
Yeah. It's still like you're still part of a bad group, so I don't trust you. And you
Yeah,
still
yeah.
chose that group. So yeah, I'm hoping at some point we can see what sort of hellhole they're now relegated to, because they deserve it.
Mhm.
Good
Like, we
written.
definitely don't like Deanna.
No, she's the worst. Yeah, it was yeah, I felt like it was a little anticlimactic, but I liked that she got back. I kind of figured she would always get out of it. Like, was that what we were all guessing? Was like Aelin wasn't gonna die in this scene, right?
Yeah.
There were too many pages left to the book.
That's a good hint. A good
Like,
clue in.
who's gonna take over from here? Is the rest of this book about Dorian? I don't think so.
It could have been. Aelin basically didn't do anything in terms of the. Whoa.
Continue.
I'm just saying, like, in terms of taking down Erewhon and or Maeve, like, in the end, it wasn't Aelin, which I love. But
Mm,
if she had died, there is still a hypothetical universe in which they could have won in a similar manner.
yeah. I mean, I would argue that she was integral to taking
Mm-hmm.
down Maeve and Erewhon. She just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the person that really did either of
Mm-hmm.
them in. But without
Mm-hmm.
her potentially like sacrificing herself and putting herself on the
Mm-hmm.
line, I don't think she would have been able to, like, the situation would have been created for Irene and Fenris to get in there.
For sure. But just pointing that out.
Could have figured something out.
She gave them time. What do you
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah. Which I think brings us to, like, the final huge, almost never-ending plot twist that was the end. Um, there were just so many parts of it. I mean, so Aelin basically goes out and knows that she has almost no power left, so she, like, puts it all in Goldrin, the sword, to, like, make it seem like she's got a lot of power, because Maeve and Erewhon are scared of it.
Mhm.
And she basically makes herself like the like target of their attention while all this stuff is going on in the background. And I mean, there's so much of it. So I don't know if there's like a piece of it that either of you want to like discuss first.
I I will say I really like the banter between her and Maeve
Mm,
because it's two strong females and they're just like trying to one up each other verbally, and I really enjoyed that.
yeah, Aelin got in a lot of really good digs. And then there were times where like Maeve tricked her, and I was like, oh no, this is how Aelin dies. Because I wasn't sure if she'd make it through the whole book. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it was all of the like her going into her mind and going into like the minds of Fenris and Rowan and Lorcan, and it was yeah, a lot of it was all really cool.
Yeah. I loved that, like, what ended up saving the day was her and Fenris's, like, secret eye language, where, like, Fenris was, like, very much trapped in his, like, mind jail, and their, like, little blinking code is what had him realize that it wasn't real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fenris was having the hardest time, which I mean I think makes a lot of sense out of the three of them. But Yeah, I thought it was
I
sweet.
guess it's answered that his brother is dead dead,
Yeah, his brother's definitely dead dead.
and Sam's dead dead.
Oh,
Sam
Sam.
Yeah, I think I owe everybody an apology on Sam.
It was still a good theory. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, I don't wanna bring up Assassin's Blade too much, but definitely solidifies just I just don't think that that scene was written well, which is kind of a bummer, but
I
we can discuss that
I
on the
thought it
All
was
Series Roundup. Yeah, Sam's super dead. Court, what was his name? Colin? Fenris's brother, dead.
It starts with a C. Definitely Kono.
Connell.
Connell, super dead.
Yes, that's what I was about to say, that I was kind of annoyed about his death because okay, we don't know much about him. Not that I care about this character, but I would have liked to gotten to know this character because obviously it's an important figure in Fenris's life, and
Mhm.
it just felt like his death was so wasteful.
Yeah.
You want to talk about wasteful deaths?
Go on.
Gabriel literally
Oh,
could have done the same thing, not standing out. He could have. They were right there, closing the gate. My guy did not need to stand on the other side of the closing gate.
Well, so I think he basically kills all of them within like a wide arc of the door. So he like goes out to take them all out like with his essence, kind
But
of.
he didn't need to.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not arguing Brooke is not arguing with you. I'm just trying to like devil's advocate here. But yeah. Do we want to talk really quick about Gabriel? How did everyone feel about Gabriel?
Sad.
Sad.
yeah, sad.
I think we all kind of pegged him as dying like books ago. So
Yeah, in
I
a way,
was
so we were prepared.
yeah, I was definitely prepared. Like the minute Gabrielle showed up and was like, "Let's fight, son." I was like, "I hope these last words are good because they are definitely last words. Like there's no way you're making it out of this."
I will say though, like it kind of this also annoys me about his death was that it felt like maybe like a gap or a bridge for Adian's character.
Mm,
And that's what I don't like about his death.
mm. You don't like it because he could have been around longer to give Adian more of a bridge?
No, it kind of just like gives Adian like like you feel bad that his father has died. That
You
He
didn't
gets pity points that like make up for some of his past bad behavior.
yes,
mm.
thank you.
You don't love that Gabrielle's death helped paint Adian in a better light. I
Yeah.
gotcha. I, on the other hand, liked that Gabrielle's death helped Adian a little bit. And again, I don't think that Gabrielle's death helped Adian like with the whole Lysandra thing, which we can get into. But I do like that in that moment, Gabrielle and Adian had some words where I think they made it clear to each other that they loved each other. But it wasn't in like an overly sappy way. And I appreciate that Gabrielle still died before Adian could like really and truly make up for it. Like I appreciate that Adian now has to sort of live with like, did he understand that I was happy he was there? Like, and realize that he needs to be better to the people in his life while they are there rather than when they are gone or about to
The,
be gone.
Wow.
the same realization could have happened with Murtaugh's death, though. Like,
Mm,
Gabriel didn't also need to die for him to have that realization. Like, I feel like that could have been done that way. I don't know. It just bothered me because yes, we've said Gabriel's gonna die for like 8 books now, but the scene in which he actually dies, like Adian has a thought being like, he doesn't need to go out there. Like, we can close the door without him out there. And then he does it anyway. Versus even if it had been written in a, oh no, they're overrunning the gates and then he goes out. Like, I don't know.
yeah, that it could have been written in a way that made it seem more needed, like more necessary. But yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. And I still don't know if that was, like, Adian wishing that he didn't need to go, because I still don't actually, and I, like, reread the scene to see if I had misread it, because I also had the same immediate thought, like, "Wait, if he doesn't need to go outside, then why is he going outside?" So I just don't know if it was, like, the panic and the grief from Adian being like, "No, you don't have to," and, like, maybe he did have to, but yeah. I feel like if Gabrielle needed to die, it also could have probably happened in a different way. But yeah. Um as far as like the whole big plot ending goes, like what did we all think about Irene being the savior of the day and murdering the shit out of Erewhon? Like, oh my god.
It was oh my god, I want to say Darrow, bro.
Irene Dara.
It was Irene, Dorian, and Alid. Like, I love the scene where Alid's just like stabbing him. Like, my guy's already pretty much dead, and he's just like,
You gotta double tap. And when double tap doesn't feel like enough, you just keep going. Yeah. It was such a good I thought it was such a good way to do it too. Like, it wasn't just Irene going up and,
mhm,
like, healing him to death.
mhm.
They used Dorian to, shift into Irene to be to distract Erewhon, and, like, Lysandra flew them over, and a lead helped out, and, I mean, also the scene before with Kale and Irene, like, got me a little teary, just a little bit, because I still was like, "There's no way she dies," but I was like, "Oh, the emotion."
That scene made me more worried that Dorian was gonna die because Kale was like, "You save her no matter what," and Dorian was like, "Okay, I will," and I was like, "Oh no, is this what sacrifices are we looking at here?"
Dorian.
I had no doubts. I knew they were gonna make it.
I didn't either. I wasn't sure if, like, at the end there was gonna be some sort of, like, weird, "Is Erewhon dead?" Like, if there was gonna be a question. Like, does Irene, like, suck the Valg out of him and then it, like, flies away? Like, are we gonna see the Valg part of Erewhon again? But it was very definitive, and I was like, "Thank you for just tying that up for me. I see the body, it is dead." It was great.
Also, Dorian's dad's name was Dorian.
As that part, like, started playing out and he was like, "What was his name?" I was like, "Dude, you know what his name was. Like, we all know what his name was. Why do you keep
The
asking?"
whole riddle thing, I was like, when it was finally revealed, I was just like, seriously.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I am glad that they had closure that way because it felt like Dorian definitely needed it.
Yeah, I feel like Dorian and Adian have similar situations where they kind of have that closure with their dads, but, like, it's not the 100%, like, really sappy closure where they, like, said all the words out loud to each other, and yeah, I liked the differences, but the similarities there.
in my head, I was just like, "Are there any dads left in this book?" And like was scrolling through, and I was like, "How is the only dad left Kale's? Like how?"
Kale! Yeah, to be. Kale.
Yeah,
Another
I
dad I
thought
assume
he would have
Vinson's gonna
perished.
die. Yeah.
But, like, Kale can't die because then also Irene dies and the baby. Like, you knew Kale had to make it through.
No, I
No,
thought Kale's
Kale's
dad was gonna
dad.
die. Yeah.
Oh, Kale's dad. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think he gets a better ending, like a better ending for him, and he's just gonna be alone and sad and realize that everyone in his life hates him, which is what he deserves for the next 20 to 30 years of his life.
Mhm.
Yep. I love that Kale heard from his mom. That was nice. And that she's gonna come live with them. I thought that was sweet.
Whatever happened to Dorian's mom and brother? They're just like gone.
They were kind of
They're safe
shitty.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't like them. I thought both of them were awful, so I think it's okay that they're
I
gone.
just feel like his brother was built up as awful to disappear into nothing.
Yeah.
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 Nothing else happened with them.
It was like, "Oh, my brother would be a bad, like, king replacement." That never comes into like, usually when there's a bad king replacement, like, they take over as king or, like, there's the chance like,
Yeah, but no.
mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm okay with not seeing them again, and I understand, like, in a series of this magnitude, you've gotta have some, like, lesser characters that just, like, fade into the background, like, we're not gonna get all of it tied up, and those ones I think I'm okay with, like, I'm alright if they just never come back, like,
I can't help but question like whether it would have been better just to like not not have them at all. Because
yeah.
what did they really add to the story?
Yeah, and I still keep feeling like there's some sort of second series that Sarah's gonna have with this. Like I know she considers this series complete, so I don't know if it's like 100 years in the future or whatever, but even like at the end they're talking about this like other place like to the east or whatever that they're gonna go like talk to help rebuild and stuff. And I'm like, what's this random ass place that we've never heard about that you're gonna go to? Like, is it just a throwaway? Like, is there gonna be something else? I don't know. So maybe they come back at some point if there's like a epilogue series.
Who knows?
Oh, Holland. Yeah. Yeah, I loved Irene being the hero and like everyone chanting her name. I was like, this is slightly unexpected and amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
Also loved the joke that I think Aelin and Rowan made to a couple of the other guys afterward about how they were going to need to get a really big rug to cover over the stain of Erewhon on their like nice little balcony. It's like, yeah, pretty gross.
That was good.
What did you guys think of the other half of the plot twist, which was that Aelin and Rowan crafted this plan that Rowan and Gavriel and Fenris, they were all going to draw the word marks for the portals on the ground, like as they fought their way across the battlefield, to then just eventually unleash the Lost Fae and the Wolf Riders that we've like heard about multiple times, and I personally knew had to come up eventually, but I didn't see them coming out of just multiple portals like across the battlefield.
Super random. Another super random thing,
So
in my
random.
opinion. Like, weird
Okay,
that they're wolf riders.
Go ahead, Jamie.
no, I was just agreeing with Elaine. I felt really random. It didn't really stuck to me if there, yeah, that if there were references, I didn't keep retain them or whatever. So it felt really, really random.
Like, the small folk army made sense to me because, like, I feel like
Yeah.
they've been coming in as, like, oh, Aelin's their queen too. And, like, that seemed to tie in. But random wolf people from the north,
The Lost Fae. What?
the only thing it, like, sparked from me was weird. Wonder where these wolf people end up, TM.
So they're on the map in all of the books, FYI, which I have looked at I've looked at the map multiple times and there's been at least one reference in the past like 3 or 4 books to the Wolf Riders. And I mean, there have been a lot of
Wolf
references.
Tribe. I don't recall this.
Well, I read all the places on the map and kept wondering what the random wolf tribe was about. Um, but they've mentioned it a few times, and they've mentioned like the Lost Fae, I think like since Crown of Midnight, like about how the Fae just sort of disappeared after Adarlan went bad.
I thought
Hey,
they
but
were separate things.
They are separate things, but I think like the Lost Fae went to the wolf tribe and they've joined forces. They're together now.
hey, but
Huh.
I interpreted like Lost Wolf Tribe as like, I don't know, we're taking somewhere else. Not we're like still there up in the north, which that part confuses me. Like, when are they gonna end up possibly taken?
Yeah, I think they mention it multiple times. I will say, like, even though I was waiting this whole book for when are the wolf people coming and like when are the lost fae coming, it was still random AF. And there's only that one mention at like before so when the King of the North, is that Game of Thrones? What do we call the stag?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, the
Lord of the North,
yeah.
right? The
Lord
Lord,
of the North, King
yes.
of the North.
When the big white deer comes to get Aaron to bring her to Orin, she's like, yes, we're gonna come with you 1 second. And she and Rowan do the thing that we would also do, and they go read a book before they went on their trip. And it just says like she opened up a wordmark book and she and Rowan made their plan. And then like that's it. And right after that, I immediately forgot it. I was like, I'm good. I'm glad we're making a plan because we need one desperately. But
Oh my god, every time that happens, I always forget. And then, it changed to a different character POV or something, and then it gets back to I'm like, and then I'm surprised.
I did still feel like it was random. Like I felt like it
Yeah,
could have been tied in a little more.
Yeah.
I think
Or
so
like just
too.
not like why do we need them there? Like the
They killed all the Karen Kui because that was like the thing. They'd killed Maeve, but then they realized that they didn't have enough of an army to fight all the spiders that were coming in, and then the portals open and all of the wolf riders come out and kill the spiders. So they are like the last ship full of ghost people, as it were, that comes into the big battle and like saves everybody at the end, which I was thankful for, but at the same time I was like, I could have used a little more lead up to the wolf people.
or
Yeah,
like
I think so
follow up
too.
afterwards.
Yeah, well, so they do mention the whole like we're now creating this better world and like we're going to be reincorporating the Lost Fae back into the places that they had to leave before. And then like there's some quick mention about figuring out how to make the wolf people feel more like part of the world. But yeah, it's very small. I know. It's
Yeah,
why I
there's like, cause
need 3 more books. Just 3.
yeah, like there's places on the map that I don't know might have been mentioned, but not like
This
there's this
might be
whole up here, the Frozen Waves or Western Wave, and the only one I remember is Briarcliff because that's where Ansel's from.
Yeah.
yeah, like the runes. Do we ever go to this jungle? I don't
Yeah.
remember a jungle.
Well, I don't know if like this is where they're talking about with like the place that they're going to consult with to rebuild. I don't remember what direction they said it was in, but I thought they said it was an island off the coast that they needed to chat with. Yep.
I'll have you know, I looked at all the island shapes to see if the only thing I did with the map.
Random comment. Can't imagine why you felt like you needed to check the shapes for something specific. But yeah, I did too. I wonder if we were looking for the same shape.
And I didn't personally find it. Did you find it?
No. Doesn't mean it's not off the page.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, so I
No,
hope I'm not the only one.
no idea.
What someone watches this? Like, what are they talking
Um,
about?
no one's watching this. It's just us. I think the only other thing with the whole like end twist that I need to talk about is how Fenris was the one that technically killed Maeve, which I loved.
I
And
love
he
that.
teleported to do it. Yay!
And he also didn't die, which I kept thinking was going to happen throughout this whole book and was just like, how are you still alive, sir?
I thought he was a goner when he was still stuck in Maeve's mind jail. I was like actually getting very sad.
Uh, I mean, like you
We
guys
were
know,
all worried.
I got very emotional when I thought he was dying the first time, like around chapter 10. So I like already grieved for him and just thought he was definitely dead and was like, yeah, this is definitely how he goes. But then when he winnows and stabs her, I was like, amazing. But now
What
he
is
has,
that word? What is that word, Brooke? You said?
sorry, teleport? He
Oh,
teleports.
okay. You're right.
Weird.
Yes.
I don't know where that word came from. He he teleports behind Maeve, stabs her, and I figured this is the moment that he dies. She's gonna like reach around and snap his neck or something. Still, super alive. So alive.
Happy for him.
Yeah.
When Aelin was like, "I'm not the person that like you've done the worst things for. That's someone else." And Maeve's like, "Who?" And Fenris appears. That's like a top moment of the book.
Yeah. Yeah, even if like all the weird random stuff just needed to happen to make that happen, I'm okay with it. It's fine. Yeah, I was super happy for him. And just like that, like he and Aelin did it together too. Cause you know, she like puts like stabs her, like puts the ring on her, he stabs her, she beheads her. Like it just I was like, yes, this is all the killing that I needed. Like, bravo.
No one else was random. And then after that moment, when they're talking, and I don't remember if it's the same scene or like a slightly later scene, when they're like, "Let's go find that Osprey guy and have him be part of our court too." I'm like, he hasn't done anything. He could have showed up at any point and been helpful. But what?
Where'd he go?
Again, they've been talking about how he's somewhere in the north, and there's this whole part of the map we haven't seen. Like, there's got to be more books. Sarah, when's the next book coming out? There's so much. There's so much that's open-ended.
Hmm.
Yeah, why did we create this random extra cadre member that we're never going to use? I don't know.
We're never gonna use, but also like we want to just join the court even though he didn't do anything. Like,
Yeah, but I think that they like still have like a connection with him from their past with Maeve. And it's like, I mean, Aylin's like her whole crew is basically cadre members and then a couple extras. So might as well collect them all.
I wonder, he must have felt something after Maeve dies.
True. So now he
So,
knows it's safe maybe to come out of hiding.
yeah.
Yeah. What is Val 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 something?
Falcon?
Val,
Vahan. That's his name, Vahan.
yeah,
I've been trying to think
no,
of what
Vaughn.
Oh, Lysandra's uncle is Falcon. Or did you mean
no,
Vaughn?
the Osprey cadre member's name is I think it's
Oh,
Vahan
Vaughn. Oh, Vahan?
or Vaughn. It's like
Never would have
Vaughn
known.
with an extra couple of vowels. So I don't know. Not that we've ever seen him really or heard him speak. So it's fine if we pronounce
No.
it wrong.
Was he ever at the Battle of Miss
He
Word?
was there, yeah.
Yeah.
So we see him there, but that's it.
Where you at, bro?
Yeah. Where you at?
Weird.
Come join the hottest cadre in the planet, on the planet. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm realizing we talked about Gabriel and how we did not enjoy his needless sacrifice. Did we at least like Aelin posthumously giving him the blood oath? Do we think it was too corny? Did we like it? Did it make us a little teary? It might have. I don't know. How'd you guys feel?
It was nice.
Nice. Sure.
Well, I mean, she did tell him like, I would offer it to you, but I have to go through ADN or get you know ADN first. So
Yeah, and Adian got it too, which was also nice
hmm
if you like
yeah,
Adian. I'm just saying I don't think he redeemed himself. That's where I'll leave it.
All right, wait. All right. So we kind of liked it. I will say I felt like that scene was really nicely done. And I don't know if it was just like how sad it was, like it being at the end of the battle and everybody had like lost someone and just like all of that grief and everything. But I thought it was a really nice gesture from Aelin, and
yeah,
thanking him for his sacrifice and everything he did for her.
agreed. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Elena. What do you want to say about 80?
I just feel like my guy didn't redeem himself. He's like, "Oh, let me walk you to your room every night." Like, sir, you called her a whore. Like, what are you doing now? There's no coming back, and this is not good enough for you to come back.
Useless or worthless is what he said.
Mhm.
I agree with Elena. I don't think he redeemed himself in my eyes. I think, like, I understand it's war, like, you got one life to live. It's the end of it. Um, but I wasn't satisfied. I think she forgave him too quickly, and I think she deserves better.
I I agree with you guys in part. I do also feel like she forgave him too quickly for what we saw. But I see where it's hinted at like all the time that they spend together that we don't see. And I think that if Sarah wanted them to end up with each other and like have that wedding and get married and like have this life together, I think she needed to give us more for them. So I do also feel a little cheated. I still feel like they are supposed to be together and there's just stuff that we needed to see from them to feel better about that.
You know how we talked about other characters that had red flags that we forgave because, like, they're the character and you're supposed to like them? I feel like that's what Aiden was, like, a walking red flag and, like, a few backpedals.
Do you really
Like, that
feel like
doesn't seem.
Adian, like long term, was a walking red flag, or was it just like that one big error that you feel like you can't go back from?
There was a
I think
couple.
I think we have seen that he what am I trying to say? Not temper tantrums. They're
Mhm.
not right? Like he
Yeah.
definitely has anger management issues.
Yes. Which I think is very clear, like with his dad, like with Lysandra, obviously, because he says a lot of things that he doesn't mean.
Yeah,
Um,
like remember the scene from the Blood Oath when he finds out that he wasn't the first.
yeah,
Um, and
Rowan and Aelin.
yeah, so that was like one, I guess like one snippet of his anger.
Hmm.
And then every time like Aelin makes a plan and doesn't tell him, which it is kind of understandable. Like we're supposed to work as a team. You know, you're my queen, but you don't tell me what's going on. I mean, I think I would be pissed too, but it's just the way he handles it.
Or like
Yeah,
doesn't because he just yells and walks away.
yeah. And, like, I understand my guy has a lot of trauma and had a difficult time growing up, seeing the fact his entire family and nation was murdered. But Lysandra also had a pretty difficult child. Like, one might say more difficult, like, more difficult. Like, and she doesn't lash out at people and doesn't deserve to be lashed out at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
She
will.
she yeah, she worked with what like the life that she was given.
Yep.
Oh my god, and then we're like her whole family didn't want her. Like, oh, that's so sad.
Now she
Just
has
thinking
Falcon.
back, now she has Falcon and I guess Adian, but like
And the
I mean
Evangeline,
like
most
growing
important.
up. Yeah. Well, like she didn't have anything growing up as her childhood. Then she gets picked up by Arobin versus Adian, who got to live in Terracent in a castle, you know, be trained by Aelin's father. Um, and yeah, I just more sympathy for Lysandra.
Yeah. All right. I feel like we have to move on because I said we weren't going to be able to talk about everything. So we're going to have to just hash this out when we do a whole episode or whole series roundup episode. I wanted to know how you guys feel about Darrow. Do we forgive him? Like, has he
Darrow?
done Darrow?
Oh, different Darrow.
This Darrow, not other book series Darrow. Has Darrow, the old cantankerous man that we hated at the beginning of the last book, this book, it's been a long series. Do we forgive him? Like he acknowledges Lysandra and Caraver. her land. He re-acknowledges Adian, gives him back his sword. He takes Evangeline as his ward and heir, and like puts Aelin on the throne, and kind of says he's sorry, but not really, for everything that he did. Like, do we forgive him?
I think he already said it. Like he said sorry, but not really.
Not really. Uh,
A little bit. Like, I would say my guy went overboard, but his intentions were also always in the right place in terms of he was trying to do what he thought was best for Terrasen. And
mhm.
like he didn't know that he could trust Aelin and all her allies to
Yep.
the extent that he would have had to. Um I thought I don't know if I like forgive him, but I thought the fact that he changes his perspective based on Evangeline was super cute.
Yeah. Yeah, throughout
Yeah.
all of that, I had forgotten that when Aelin leaves Evangeline with them, she says, "Win me my kingdom back." And, it's just like a nice, like, go, like, be the good person that I know you are. She's not actually saying, like, it's on you, but she does it. Like, if it's all, oh my goodness, Evangeline.
It was
Yeah,
very
I think
cute.
it's a statement to like the impact that anyone can have on the
Mhm.
end of a situation. So like regardless of how we feel about Darrow, it feels weird saying that.
Darrow.
The fact that Evangeline like could change his perspective was adorable.
Yeah, and I liked that it was by her, a person who, like, did not grow up in Terrasen, had really, like, never, lived in Terrasen, and loved Terrasen and everything that it stood for, and he realized, like, "Okay, I need to stop gatekeeping Terrasen, like, it needs to be a place that anybody can come to if they want to." I don't
Super
forgive
cute.
him entirely, like, I don't
Yeah.
wish him dead anymore, but I would keep him at a distance until I could trust him, if ever.
I think these are
Yeah.
all fair assessments of him.
Yeah. Um,
I
Like we hate him a little less.
yeah. Yeah, he's not as awful, and, like, he
Yeah.
loved Elan's uncle, so, like, there's gotta be some good in him somewhere.
Okay, to be honest, when that was revealed, I was like, that don't mean anything. Like if you're trying to include this little fact about yourself to make you like us or make us like you, still doesn't change anything.
Yeah, like, I'm not just gonna like you because 'cause you're gay, you gotta prove you're
Yeah,
good too.
exactly.
I'm tempted, but you're also mean and
I
curmudgeonly.
I yes, I was tempted. Like I wanted to know more of the story, of their
Yeah,
story. But like you're still a dick, Darrow.
yeah. In the next book, we'll find out in the next book. We'll get more stories about.
Maybe Sarah will do some like prequels, novellas or something.
Ooh, that would be good. I would totally do that. All right, so we already talked about who I think is our most problematic couple. So I figured, Elena, you want to talk about your favorite couple? How did you like the ending of their story?
I mean, they just end up together, which is nice. I love that he takes her name and is like gonna be a member of her house.
Yeah,
That was cute. Other than that, I feel like not a ton happened with them.
I
yeah.
mean, you're not wrong.
I
Did
like.
it did
I
sorry.
I was just gonna say I like that Rowan's like Maeve created nightmare was like a lead telling him he wasn't good enough, but that there was still a part of him that like knew it was fake even before like Aelin branded him to pull him out of it. And I loved
Hmm.
that because I was like, you have come so far to be so sure in your love for her and her love for you to know like to still like have that insecurity of feeling like you're not enough for her, but to be like, wait a minute, no, we've come further than this. And I was like, yes, Lorcan, you have.
Oh my god, such great character and relationship growth. Like, because he started off not like she had to point out that like, hey, dude, like that's not love.
Hmm.
I'll show you.
She did really show him. And not to talk more about Aideen and Lysandra, but this is definitely why they're my least favorite couple. I would say is that like they're just other couples that they walked the walk and like did it together and really taught each other. And I think like Elite and Lorcan show that really well.
I thought you were saying Alina and Lorcan were your least favorite couple for a second. I was like, how dare you?
But if we have to rank them, I don't want to rank them. But yeah. No, we're
You
not.
would
They're
put them
definitely not
second to
my
last.
least.
We don't have enough time to rank them.
You would definitely put them second to last because you're gonna do Rowan, Aelin, Dorian, Manon, Alid, Lorcan, Adie, and
Well,
Lysandra.
let's talk about one of our
No,
other
I think she would put Adie and Lysandra before this
Lorcan?
couple. Yeah.
I like Alita and Lorcan better than Adian and Lysandra.
Oh, good.
Good.
No, I mean, I think that Adian and Lysandra are the only ones, at least for me, that I think we could argue should they have actually ended up together. I think everybody else, like, you can see that it definitely works, and I'm not worried about them. But the other couple that I feel like had even less happen with them than Alita and Lorcan were Nezrin and Sartok, who just, like, never had a scene. Like, the scene I was waiting for this, like, for books just never happened.
What about Borte and whatever his name is?
Borte
That they
and-
like just like name drop sometimes, and it's like, but I want that backstory. Like, how? What are their secret conversations?
Yeah. No, I remember there was like a little scene between them. And it was really cute. But like it's still you wanted more. Every relationship you want more. So Lorcan did. I want more. I want more and more in urine.
Yeah. I think we already talked a lot about Irene and Kale, but I'm really happy that they're all good to go and they're going to go live their lives together.
We didn't
Yeah.
talk enough about Kale and Dorian and all the cute moments they had, but we're
We are like out of time. There's really not
Okay,
much.
yes, we love the trio reunion.
Yes, that was really sweet. When they all said goodbye to each other, I teared up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
I
was
was
like the
like,
one
this is
part that
so
really got me
sweet.
at the end. I was like, the OG threesome, you guys. Yeah. We need another full book for Manon and Dorian, so we don't even need to talk about how upset I was at their relationship at the end of this.
It was so underwhelming.
I feel
Yeah.
like it was realistic though. They both have to go do their own thing
It
and like
was, yeah.
establish their own kingdoms. That needs to come first right now, and then they're just gonna see each other on the side. That felt realistic to what their situations are.
If this was the end of the book and I knew that there was another book definitely coming, I would feel the same way. But the fact that Sarah thinks this series is over, I'm just like, girl, this series is not over. Like, if I need to finish writing it for you, you just call me. But like, it's not over. Yeah. Yeah. And Roan and Aelin are number one couple through the whole thing. Just loved them. Just their back and forth and like Rowan keeping secrets from her and like, you know, them just always being there for each other and getting through the whole thing. So cute.
Yeah, he's always believed in her, and I really appreciated that. I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have to have like a whole, I think, series roundup. Maybe we'll do a live episode at some point so we can all chat about our thoughts and feelings across the board. But this was a truly magical experience for me. I hope you guys felt the same way.
It's just
We
sad
could-
that it's an end, you know.
Yeah. I think there's got to be more. I'm hopeful. Even if it's like 500 years in the future, because most of them all are going to live forever. Except Lorcan. It was all
Yeah, so dumb.
Why is Lorcan dying?
well, Lorcan is mortal now.
I forgot that.
I think I
forgot
forgot
when
that
did-
too.
When did that happen?
All right. Thank you guys for joining us for not just this episode, but almost the whole series. I know we started at book 3, but like books 1 and 2 don't matter really, do they? But yeah, thank you guys. This was great. And let's chat more about this series, and we'll see you for all of our upcoming books after this. Bye.
Bye.